Hello everyone, I am Dr. Manoj Kumar NV, working as Associate Professor in the Department of Management Sciences, Maharaja Institute of Technology, Mysore. So today we are going to solve the problems on leasing. So the chapter entitles Banking and Financial Services, subject code 18 NBFC 301, and today we are focusing into the problems on leasing. So whether the lease is worthy or not, that we are going to discussing in today's problem. So the problem we are taken from the question paper in the year December 2007 and January 2008 question paper. So the question is like, Wellwish Limited is faced with a decision to purchase or acquire on lease a mini car. The cost of mini car is rupees 1,26,965. So therefore, you must need to note down the investment of car, which is amounted to rupees 1,26,965. It has a life of 5 years. So therefore, the N we are considered as 5 years. And the mini car can be obtained on lease by paying equal lease rentals annually. So therefore, we must need to calculate what is the lease rentals. So based on the investment and the period whatever they given, based on that we must need to calculate the equal lease rentals. The leasing company decide a return of 10% on the gross value of assets. So therefore, the rate which they given is 10% on the gross value of the asset. Wellwish Limited can also obtain 100% finance from its regular banking channel. The rate of interest will be 15% per annum. So means what? Whatever we do the investment on the particular car, as a customer, we are going to borrow that money at the rate of 15%. So therefore, the interest rate with the given is 15% per annum, and rate of return the given is 10%. And the loan will be repaid in 5 equal annual installments. So we already taken consideration of N is 5 years. So therefore, we must need to pay 5 equal annual installment. So inclusive of interest. So once we are said about installment, it is a combination of principal plus interest. The effective rate of tax rate of the company is 40%. So therefore, the tax which we need to be considered is 40%. And for the purpose of taxation, it is to be assumed that the asset will be written off over a period of 5 years on straight line basis. So the method of depreciation. So depreciation method is straight line method of depreciation. So here they mainly ask for 2 questions. The first one is, advise Wellwish Limited about the method of acquiring the car. So therefore, we need to suggest them whether to borrow the money and need to purchase, or whether to go for lease. And the second question, what should be the annual lease rental to be charged by the leasing company to match the loan option. So therefore, what is the amount of lease rental must need to pay to match the loan option, that we need to be calculated. So therefore, these 2 major questions they are posed here, and also they only given the discount rate at 10%. They given the discount rate in the problem itself as 10%, as well as they given the tax rate, and even for the interest rate also they given the discount rate. So therefore, this discount rate which will be helpful for us to converting the future cash flows into present cash flows. So hope with regarding to this we are going to calculate how these lease rentals which become profitable to the customer or not. Let shall we go through the solution. So as we observe that these are the major information we need to be gathered from the particular problem, where we need to be taken the investment of the car which is amounted to rupees 1,26,965, and the number of year of leasing is 5 years. So therefore N we are consider 5 years. Then lease rental we must need to calculate based on the investment and the particular period which we are going to be considered to calculate the lease rentals. And then we are going to be we are borrowed the money, because we have a two option here. One is borrowed and we are purchasing, or we can go for lease rental. So therefore which one will be beneficial, we are going to be suggest for them. So therefore they given the interest rate as well as this is the lease rental rate, and in the problem they also given the tax rate which is 40% per annum, and depreciation the company consider the SLM, straight line method of depreciation. So these are the major information we must need to be gathered from whatever the problem they given. So this problem which will comes under when the rent, when repayment is made, when the repayment at the repaid at the beginning of the year at par. So you must need to be very careful here whether the repayment should be made at the end of the year or beginning of the year. So as per this problem we are going to pay the lease rentals at the beginning of the year. So therefore the first step which we are going to be consider for the solution, so where we must need to be calculate the annual loan amount. The first calculation is on annual loan amount. So annual loan amount which we are going to be use the formula that the loan amount should be divided by annuity factor at what is the rate which you are borrow the amount, that is 15%. So therefore we should need to be consider this for the calculation. But when you calculating the annual loan amount, you should be very careful regarding to beginning of the year. When it is beginning of the year, when we are going to be consider the loan amount. So the loan amount, as you know that it is 1,26,965, and here it is when it is in the beginning of the year, which we are going to be take a consideration. So 15% for we are going to take a consideration from the 0th year, 0 to 4, not 1 to 5. So we are consider only the 0 to 4 years. So therefore 3.86 it will be as per that. So because we are consider PV IFA from 0 to 4 year. So when it is 0 to 4 year, so 0 to 4 year PVIAF. So you can look into A4 table. So you can look into the A4 table. So in the A4 table, you can find that for each year. Yeah, for the each year, you can able to find the present value factor. So where in the 0th year, first year, second year, third year and fourth year. So therefore, anyhow the first year will be same because present value for the period will be same at the 0th year, and for the first year it will be 0.87, or else you can use 1 plus r power n. So this formula you can use for determining the present value, 1 divided by 1 plus r power r whole to the power n. Then 0.87 and 0.76, 0.66 and 0.57. So totally we got 3.86 as a present value interest factor annuity of 3.86. So therefore, whatever the loan amount which we are taking consideration as 1,26,965, and we are dividing by 3.86 present value factor. So therefore, we are resulting with 32,892 we are considered as annual loan amount. So hope you understand the calculation of annual loan amount. So we have taken the loan amount and it should be divided by annual factor at whatever the interest rate they given per annum. So when we take a consideration of annuity factor, we know it's for 5 years, but here they given beginning of the year. When they given the beginning of the year, we must need to take a consideration from the 0th year. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So therefore always 0th year the present value will be 1, and it should be go with the rest of the factor. We need to be taken the total of all these 5. So we are resulted with 3.86. So therefore we are divide 1,26,965 divided by 3.6. We are resulted with the annual loan repayment is 32,892. Then we are moving to the second calculation, where we are calculating computation of interest in debt payment. So in computation of interest in debt payments, we have to take whatever the considering period of 0 to 4 years, we are going to calculate what is the end balance in the interest in debt payment. So therefore we have to take a 5 years column from 0, 1, 2, 3 and 4th year. So where we are going to take in the opening balance of principal, so opening balance of principal, as we know, whatever the total amount of investment, 1,26,965. So then in the 0th year, because that is the zeroth year is nothing but the present year. So we need to be charged the interest. So as we know that interest at 15% on principal. So therefore here there is no interest will be applicable for the first year. So therefore the remaining total will be the same 1,26,965. So then we are going to make a loan repayment. So less loan repayment. So loan repayment, whatever we calculated in the first calculation, the annual loan repayment amount, that is amounted to rupees 32,892. So therefore, which we are going to be left out with 316. So 94,073, which we are left out as a end balance. So this is nothing but the closing balance. So the closing balance which is left out in the zeroth year is 94,073, which is not considered the interest because it is the present year which you are borrowed the loan at the same year. So therefore you are not going to pay any interest at the present year, current year. So therefore whatever the end balance in the zeroth year, that will be the opening balance for the next year. So therefore 94,073. So on 94,073 you have to be charged 15% as the interest. So therefore 94,000 into 94,073 into 15%. So which is amounted to rupees 14,111, and then we are going to be deduct this value from the total. So when we deduct it, we are going to add on the opening balance. So when we add that, it is around 1,08,184. So 1,08,184. So that is the amount of total amount of principal plus interest which we have taken consideration. So therefore the total amount which will be 1,08,184. Then we are going to make a second repayment. So all repayment will have a same installment value. So that is 32,892. So therefore which we are going to be left out with 75,292. The same process which you are going to be continue till the end. So therefore the end balance will be 75,292. Then you are going to be charged the interest on it. When you charge the interest, 11,294. Then you are going to be add on with the remaining principal amount. So 86,586. Then again you are going to make a repayment, that is 32,892, and then which you are going to be left out with 53,694. Then you are going to taken as a opening balance 53,694. Then you are going to be charged 15% on it. So that is amounted to rupees 8,054. Then you are going to add on with the total value. So that is 61,748. Then you are going to be charged the regular repayment, that is 32,892. Then which you are going to be left out with 28,856. So take the same balance here, 28,856. Then you are going to be charged again, that is 4,036. So this value for the always for the last year, don't calculate the 15%, whatever the given interest rate 15%, don't calculate on the left out amount. What you need to do is just take the consideration of whatever the loan repayment amount is there, from that you are going to be less 28,856 and the remaining value you put it as a interest, because when you calculating 15% on this, you have a fractional differences. To avoid such circumstances, directly you take the loan repayment, annual loan repayment value, from that you are going to be less the amount outstanding. So then you are going to be result with the amount of interest. So therefore the end balance which will be left out with the as same as the loan repayment amount. So therefore the last year loan repayment amount is 32,892. So therefore there is no closing balance which is left at the last year. Hope you understand the calculation of interest in debt payments. So once again I will repeat. So first you take the opening balance. So when you taken the opening balance, then for the first year, because it is the beginning of the year, first year no interest, then you are carry forward the same amount, then you are going to be pay the first year loan annual loan repayment amount. So then you are going to be result with 94,000. Take it as a same as a opening balance, charge the interest 15%, then you are going to be deduct the repayment amount and left out with 75,000. Only for the last year the change here is for the last year we are not charging the 15% on this value, directly we taken the loan repayment value and from that you are going to be less whatever the remaining value at the last year, and the same thing we are put it as an interest, and so therefore we are not resulted any end balance for the last year as a closing balance. We are moving to the third calculation where we are going to calculate the cash outflow in debt financing. So therefore we have to prepare a schedule of cash outflows in debt financing. So here also we are going to take the 8 columns, so consisting of end of the year, because always we are going to have the debt financing cash outflow, means whatever we are paying the amount that will be at the end of the year. Even though the problem they given in the beginning of the year, the interest payment should be made at the end of the year. So therefore we are going to take the first column at the end of the year. Then we are going to take the loan repayment, so the amount of installment which we are calculated. Then we must need to take a consideration of interest at 15%. They given in the problem that the interest rate is 15%. Then we need to be take a consideration of depreciation. So depreciation, as you know that they given the SLM method of depreciation. So therefore whatever the investment we are going to be divided by 5 years, which we are resulted with the amount of depreciation, because there is no salvage value they given in the problem. So directly we have taken the investment divided by the expected life of the project. So therefore we are resulted with the depreciation for the 5 years. Then we are going to take the consideration of tax shield. So tax shield, which we are going to get the tax shield based on the second and third column where interest and depreciation. So that value which we are going to be take the consideration second and third column. So means the amount of interest, the amount of depreciation which we are going to be gained. The tax rate with the given in the problem is 40% is the tax rate. So therefore after that we are calculating the net cash flow. So net cash flow which we are going to be arrived from, so 1 minus 4. So therefore the first column and the fourth column, if we are deduct the from the loan repayment, if we are deduct the value of the tax shield which we are resulted with annual net cash flow, then we are going to be convert those cash flows into present value, and we are going to take an 9%, 40% which we are going to be deducted. So therefore we are resulted with the 9%. Then present value cash outflows, present value cash outflow which we are going to be calculating. So here at the end of the year 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, because when we take a consideration of loan repayment, repayment should be made at the beginning of the year. So therefore 32,892 which will be the same value which we are going to pay for the 5 years, but it is start from the beginning of the year. 392, 32,892 and 32,892 and put it nil for the last year. So henceforth when we need to be charged the interest on this amount. So therefore whatever we are do the interest payment should be made at the end of the first year. So therefore we are going to be charged for 32,892, we are going to be charged the interest at the end of the first year. So that is 14,111, and in the second year which we are going to pay 11,294, and in the third year which we are paid 8,000. These values already we are calculated in the previous table. Just take the values from the particular table. So here at the last fourth year which we are paid 4,036. So therefore there is no payment here, payment or repayment. So therefore there is no interest which will be fetched. But when we calculating the depreciation, there is no depreciation for the 0th year because that is the purchasing year, but the rest of 5 years we need to be calculate the depreciation. So depreciation, you can put the formula investment divided by the life of the project. So where which we are resulted with 25,393 rupees as a depreciation. So therefore each year we need to be considered the 25,393, 25,393, 25,393 and 25,393. Then we are going to be take the total of these two and we are going to calculate 40% tax as a tax shield for the investor. So therefore take the total of these two and multiply with the 40%, which we are going to be result with 15,082 and 14,675 and 13,379 and 11,772 and 10,157. So these values you can arrive, just taken the total of the interest amount and depreciation amount and add the total, multiply with the tax rate, you will get the tax shield value. So after this you have to calculate the net cash flow. So in the net cash flow, cash outflow, net cash outflow, where we are going to consider how much outflow which is taken place. So as we know, in the first year, in the 0th year, the outflow is 32,892. Whatever the repayment amount, only that is the outflow for the first year. But for the second year, we had the outflow of 32,892, but we get the advantage of tax shield of 15,802. So therefore, the remaining value 17,090 will be a outflow for the investors. So as same 18,217 and 19,513 and 21,120 and 10,157, which we are resulting as a net cash outflow. So therefore, from this, so in the last year there is no repayment of interest or installment. So therefore, whatever we get the tax shield, that become a negative value. So means for it is not a outflow, it is a inflow for us. So then we are going to be convert that into present value factor. So present value factor for the 0th year will be 1, and at 9% it will be 0.92 and 0.84, 0.77 and 0.71 and 0.65. So then we are going to be convert these cash outflows into present value cash outflows. So just multiply each other. So 32,892 for the first year, sorry 0th year, then 15,723, then 15,302 and 15,025, then 14,955, and at the last year we get the inflow, that is 6,602. So therefore, we are resulted, the sum of this which is resulted as a 87,335. So this 87,335, which you are going to be considered as total present value of cash outflow. Hope you understand this calculation. So you are taken whatever the loan repayment at the beginning of the year. So therefore you should start from the 0. So you are taken 5 years loan repayment. Then interest is going to be charged. Even though you are borrowed the amount at the beginning of the year, you are going to be charged the interest at the end of the year. So therefore, first 4 years you are charged the interest. So these values you can take it from the previous table. And so therefore, there is no repayment at the 5th year. So therefore, there is no amount of interest which is applicable. Then you are calculate the depreciation by using a formula investment divided by life. So it is followed by SLM method. So therefore, same amount of depreciation we need to be followed for all the year. Then tax shield, we get the advantage of interest and depreciation, add together and multiply with the tax rate 40%, you got the tax shield amount. Then net cash flow, from the amount of repayment you are going to be less the tax shield. So you are resulting with the net cash outflow. Then you are going to be convert these cash flows into present value cash outflows. So therefore, we are taken the PV factor at 9%. So we are resulting with this, and then after you consider the PV factor, you are going to multiply the net cash outflow into PV factor to result with present value cash outflow, add the total of which you can able to ascertain total present cash outflow. So in the fourth one, where we are going to calculate the annual lease rentals. For calculating annual lease rentals, we have to take the cost of assets divided by the annuity factors at annuity factor at 10% they given in the problem. So therefore we know the investment is 1,26,000, so 965, and you should divide with, so the as same where we are going to consider the beginning of the year, so therefore it become a n minus 1, so therefore it is going to be start from 0 to 4 year as a consideration of 5 years. Even though the term of the lease is 5 years, it will be start from 0 to 4, not from 1 to 5. So therefore when they given at the beginning of the year, you should need to take a consideration of 0 to 4. When it is end of the year, you must need to be consider this. Consider this. So therefore we are going to take a consideration of the 0 to 4 years. So when it is 0 to 4 year, it is the factor of 4.17 at 10%. So the total of which where we are take a consideration of 0 to 4 year. So 0, 1, 2, 3 and 4. So always first year will be 1 and the second year PV at 10%. So second year which will be 0.91 and the third year which will be 0.83 and fourth year it will be 0.75 and 0.68. So total of which we are resulting as 4.17 as a annuity factor. So once we are divide that, we will resulting as 30,447 amount considered to be a annual lease rental. So after you calculate this, you can go ahead with the schedule of cash outflow. So in the fifth one, we are going to prepare the schedule of cash outflow in under lease agreement. So in under here also we are going to take the consideration of end of the year, and we are take the lease repayment. Then we are going to take the consideration here, there is no interest, so therefore directly only the lease repayment will be getting a tax shield because there is no applicability of depreciation. Then after the tax shield, where we are going to take an after tax cash outflows. Then we are apply the PV factor at 10%, PV factor at 10%, which we are going to take a consideration. Then we are going to convert those thing to present value cash outflows. So where, as we know that it is start from 0th year. So 0th year it will be 30,447. And in the 0th year, there is no tax shield which will be applicable. So therefore, the outflow will be 30,447, and the PV factor for the 0th year will be 1. So therefore, 30,447. Then we can calculate directly from 1 to 4 because the loan lease repayment amount is same for 1 to 4 years. So therefore, we have taken the same for the 4 year, and here we are going to take a consideration of total of these 4. So 1 to 4 years. So therefore, the tax shield which is applicable here is 12,179 is the tax shield which you are going to get it, and then we are going to take a consideration. So here which we are going to be left out with 18,268. Then PV factor, the total of these 4 which will be 3.24. Then you are going to multiply the after cash outflow into this. You are going to be resulting with 59,188. So tax shield directly you are going to be charged 40% on the value. So again here at the 5th year you are going to get the direct tax shield, that is 12,179. Same tax shield you are going to be received, and that only the 179, that only which is inflow for us. And then for the 5th year, so the 5th year it will be 0.65. So that PV factor here we need to take it as a consideration. So therefore, here we are resulting with the inflow of 7,916. So therefore, the total present value of cash outflow under the leasing is 81,719. Okay, so based on the first question, whether to go for lease finance or debt finance. So here in the lease financing, as we know that the first condition where we are going to compare the debt financing and the lease financing. So the present value of lease financing and the present value of debt financing. So when we take a consideration of the outflows, in under the lease financing it is resulted 81,719, and in under the debt financing it is 87,739. Sorry, 87,335. So here we are consider the outflows. When we consider the outflows, which will be the least amount which will be benefited to the owner. So therefore, it is more advantage to stick on to lease financing because the investment become lower compared to debt financing. So this is the first interpretation you must need to be given as a your decision as a financial constraints. Then second, where we need to be identify the matching value of lease rentals to match with the debt interest. So therefore here let's consider the lease rental as X. So lease rental considered as X. So therefore the after tax lease rental will be 0.60x. 0.60x, it is nothing but you are charged the tax. So therefore out of 1 minus 0.4 you got 0.6. So that is the after tax lease rental. So therefore, as you know that present value, as you know the present value will be, so present value will be whatever we have a 0.60x into multiply with, we are going to consider the present value which we already consider 0 to 4 year, it is 4.17. So therefore we are resulting with 2.502x. So equating this equation, so equating this, so where we are resulting with 2.502x, so therefore which is equal to 87,335. So 87,335, that is the debt financing value. So now we are calculating what will be the lease rental which is going to be equivalent to the debt financing. So we are going we are determining the value of x. So therefore when we are considering the equation, the value of x will be 87,335 divided by 2.502, that is amounted to rupees 34,906. So therefore the lease rental of 34,906 which will be match with the value of 87,335 loan option. So therefore this is regarding the two calculation which they are inform us to calculate. So this is the comparison of debt financing and lease financing, and here we are calculate the matching value. Hope you are understand the particular problem which may come for the case study. So therefore if you had any much information, kindly go through the books where you can able to find the different types of problem relating to the same lease and debt financing. Thank you for listening. Thank you one and all.